Hey Lamo, how are you? It's good hearing from you. Did you have a nice weekend? Carmina, ciao. Doing great, awesome. I'm doing great, yeah. I have to watch over my dad who has some dementia, unfortunately, and so my mom's going to drop him off at the studio, so it might be a little bit of an interruption, but I think he should be okay. And that's in probably about 30 minutes, but I'm going to try to keep streaming. But I'm going to try to finish this up today because I'm going to try to get to charcoal at some point. Well, this week, rather. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to come up with something to draw. And I'm working on trying to get videos out quicker as well, which is very difficult for me. This is all new. You know, it's like I don't have a problem doing work in my studio, but coming up with enticing videos and just understanding what people want to see or view, you know, what they're going to be typing in is very difficult right now. Stephen Bauman is live at Proco today. Awesome, yeah, Proco. I'm glad he's doing that because Proco is very good exposure, and it's good. Like, more people need to see Stephen because he's very, very talented and he's very good at expressing a lot of the theory behind this, and he's a very talented artist. And I think it's very good for this type of work, what he's doing. It's a very good thing. So I'm glad that he's on Proco, and you know, his wife too, Cornelia, I'm sure you know her. She does the same type of work, and she's very talented. She's very talented. And it must be nice being married to somebody and they can kind of play off each other with their work. You just came by to say hello. You'll watch later. All right, that's perfectly fine, Carmina. Hey, thanks for stopping in, man. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, Lamo, maybe you could help me out. If you were like, you're very interested in this type of work, and what do you normally search for? What do you type in to kind of figure out, you know, like, how do you find me? How do you find Stephen? What are the types of things that you're interested in learning? Because you have to understand, when you do this stuff for a living, you kind of forget how it was when you first started and what you would be looking for. And that sounds strange, and it might sound a little stuck up, and I don't mean for it to be, but it's when you live and breathe something, you take for granted the certain things that you know, if that makes sense. I have to check out the Proco. He's being interviewed by Proco, I assume. And it's not the first time. I think Cornelia was on there, I remember. And, you know, I remember her at the school, and Stephen. Though Stephen, he came when I was leaving, and so I asked Cornelia, I said, when did he come? Because I vaguely remembered him, and that's more of an indictment on my memory than it is on him. You search for Barge Drawing, academic art. Okay, cool. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. So if I was to make a video, what would you want to see? Like, what catches your eye? Like, the last video I made, it was on, and I try to make them funny, but they're borderline because sometimes the information's a little bit choppy, and I think I could do a better job of presenting the information. It's just, you know, I could sit there and I could say, this is the type of lighting I use, this is exactly how I set it up, and I could perhaps demonstrate me building something, and a model stand, for example. it's just so dry, but at the same time, it's stuff that if somebody just wants to get straight to the point, it's very helpful for them, but a lot of people have done that type of stuff. Much information. You want information. You want information. You want information. Right now, your interest, so it stays interesting, right? Okay. Yeah. So you basically want just a nice flow of information, just 1, 2, 3, 4, all these things, and very helpful stuff. And I know it's kind of subjective, it's the way that I present it, because I'm pretty goofy in my videos. I have a fun time doing that type of stuff. And that redneck, I don't know if you saw my last one, that redneck character came a little bit too natural for me. I was a little bit concerned. And unfortunately, the genius character, I don't know, the genius or the evil me, that one takes a little bit more effort. Okay, so academic work, you want information, solid flow of information. Are you interested in like painting videos or drawing videos or both? Because you're doing Barge Drawing right now. I could do one on Barge Drawing. I don't know if I want to do another Barge Drawing right now. Queldar27, hey buddy. Doing all right? Okay. Ooh. No, but Steven is very good. Like, I watch his videos. I'm like, how did he put that video together? His video skills are very good. Limo, you think more people have drawing materials at home and not paint materials? Mm-hmm. Yep. So drawing videos. Yeah. My problem with social media, and that's how you get things going. So you would do a video about drawing. Cool. I was thinking of doing something, I like switching things up. I like doing some fantasy art sometimes, but I don't really get to that as much as I'd want to. But one of these times, I'd like to do something fantasy, but put the classical touch to it. And I have an idea, but it would be incredibly nerdy, and I'm a little bit hesitant for that reason, because then everybody would know how nerdy I am. But at some point, it would come out anyway if I stick with this. See, here's the thing with social media that I don't like. People post all the time, and this is how they grow their business, their channels, and that's a good thing. And this isn't a criticism. And this isn't me accusing those people of this, what I'm about to say. But my first thought is, who cares? I'm not the center of everything. Who cares what I do? That's my mentality. So consequently, I'm always hesitant to post. I'm hesitant to go through, and it's hard to know what to make videos on. And the only reason, well, I love making them funny, and I do that, like I said, I've said 1,000 times, just to, I learn better that way. It's fun to watch. I don't see it being done a lot. I just need to be careful not to sacrifice the quality of the information while I'm goofing off, right? Because I could undersell what I'm doing, and that wouldn't be a good thing. I'm not a natural at social media. I'm not a natural at advertising, and you know what? That's stuff that those are things that people need work on. Even the great advertisers, they know how to. They've been through it. They've worked on it before. They put effort. It doesn't necessarily come natural to them. But it's very helpful, Limo, hearing what you think about when you see this, what you're looking for. And I'm not just saying that so that I can grow this or know, just like I am asking because like if I can make the stuff that helps you, then it helps you, grows my channel at the same time. It's good stuff, like it's getting out there, and because it's solid information and it should be out there, and it should be out there not just for you but for those people who in the future will search for it. That's why I'm so psyched that, you know, I didn't know Stephen was on social media, on YouTube. I had been researching this. I'd been trying to get on, not trying, but I would say about 2 years ago, I made the decision. I said, you know what, I think I'm going to go through and start making some videos and get out there because it's a way to help myself grow. It's a way to help my art grow. And I do enjoy teaching. I used to teach, and it's something I really do enjoy. And it will get me out of my shell. It'll get me out of the studio. And so I made that decision to get on YouTube. And so I started studying and studying and studying, and I was just researching, how do you do this? How do you do that? The lighting, the cameras, how do you talk in front of the camera? What type of videos to make? How does this whole thing work? You know, who watches what? The mentality of when you start, nobody's going to view you. How are you going to stick with it? All these things. And during that process, I remember I was researching a lot of art videos and just watching them, and I was very amazed at the stuff that people were doing. It was quite nice, actually, and very refreshing. And I came across Stephen. I was like, Stephen? I was like, he went to the academy. Like, I vaguely remember, because again, vaguely, he was there for a very short period of time, and he was in a different building than I was. But it's a small school, and it's a very close school. Everybody was very close, and you know, those people, when you're in a different country for a long period of time, when you're in ooh, the stream was down, okay. Is the stream still down, Queldar? But you know, like the people, you know, we see each other every day for the most part at the school. When you're in a different country, you're very close to the people who you're around because you don't have your family, and those are your friends, those are your family over there, which is quite nice. I really do really miss the people over there. Let me know if you can see the stream, Queldar. All right, so I'm just going to go through and tighten the line quality up. The proportions, they can always be better, but I'm just going to go through and just, like we say, just refine it. Make it attractive to look at, refine the shadows. And I could definitely go through and critique this and deconstruct it and really say the things that I did okay and the things that I didn't do okay. And that is something that everybody should do at the end of their drawing. And that's how you get better and bring it into the next drawing. Right? That's how you bring it into the next drawing. Queldar, it says the stream is up. I don't know if it's your computer. Don't know what it is, man. Don't know. Now try to put a little bit of a tooth on it. Get these marks down. This is all just with an HB pencil. That's all I've used for this one. And you know, I could go through, I could do a B, I could do a 2B, get darker with it, but you know what? Sometimes you just want to limit yourself to see what you can do just with one material. That way you know the limits of the material, you get to improve yourself with it. That's what we're all about, is self-improvement. All right, so I'm going to go through and refine that line some, but I'm going to sharpen this pencil so I can get maximum efficiency. All right, see? Sharp. Hey, Cleldar, are you still there? And is the stream okay? Stream is working great. Thank you, Limo. Cool. Good. So Lamo, we can really refine these lines a lot, and it's good to be very stingy with this when you're learning bar drawings, because this is what's going to teach you. And it's not that you necessarily have to do this in your work. You can make the decision to do it in your work, but you're able to do it. That's the important thing. You're able to know how to refine a line, kind of work the line up like you work shadows up. You see, we're really working on this line here. I don't know how it's coming out on the stream. I'll check it later, this type of work, and maybe you're not getting that much out of this, but essentially we're just touching the line, and I'm slowly shifting it to where I want it to be. And again, one of the reasons why I like the HB pencil in this is that it's still erasable at this point, which is quite nice. Let me take that out. I went up a little bit too high. Still very erasable. It's still very malleable. But that's me. A lot of people, they'll use like an H or a 2H at this stage because it's a lighter part. You don't really need to get that dark with it. And that works. The danger of that is that if you go dark, that's going to be harder to erase than this is. But it's great because it forces us to study Bargue's lines, which is exactly what these drawings are for. And so I was watching a video actually today on how to do a Bargue drawing. It wasn't Stevens is good. It wasn't that. I'm not going to name whose it wasn't. It was a decent drawing, but basically they went through and blocked it in and constructed it kind of like they would be constructing a building. And I just want to say that is perfectly fine if you want to make an exact replica. You know, like they go through, they just box it in and they measured and brought it over and it was this exact copy. But the point of this work, again, though it's static, is to teach us how to draw from real life. In real life, it moves and you can't go through and box it in. You can't go through and measure precisely, you know, like 1, 2, 1, 2. There's going to be movement, and it's best to be able to catch that movement with your eye. It's best to have a degree of flexibility when you're working with this. So it's not just training you how to see the proportions. It's not just training you how to represent shadows, how to make them atmospheric, what information to put in, how to represent that information. It's not just teaching you those things. It's teaching you through its method of construction how to go about building up a drawing in the interest of real life. Like if you're going to be doing one in real life where you have to be flexible, you have to work, you know, marking the top points, side points, always keeping them in mind, but training your eye to see it instead of using tools to first put it down. You don't want to use tools to put it down. You want to use your eye to. You want to really train your brain and your eye to see these things. And that's so important in this. So it's not just what we produce, but how we produce it, which is so important in these exercises. So when you're doing these Lamo, just keep that in mind because that's what you're training yourself for. And I guarantee you that this type of work, as boring as it is, there's so much value that you're getting. And I think when we work in something for a long period of time, it gets boring and dull, and you know, your mind gets tired, and sometimes you can't see the improvements that you're making. And it's at that point that you have to double down, stick with it, and remember where you're going with it. Because, you know, like I can't tell you how many times I felt like quitting, and then, you know, I might take a break from a drawing or a painting just for a small period of time, and then I come back and say it didn't look that bad, and you know what? I learned a lot out of it. I got a lot out of it, or I continued on it and I created a very nice piece of work, and I got a lot of lessons out of it that I applied to the next piece, and that's how you get better. You slowly get better, right? Somebody's work isn't always representative of where they are in their life as an artist or as a painter or whatever. It's not always representative. It's not always, you know, like a drawing might, for example, it might look bad, but it might look bad because that artist is going through it and training themselves, like redrawing, trying to get it, using it as a practice arena. And the drawing might not come out as great as somebody who went through and just simply shadowed it and kind of ignored a lot of proportional flaws, kind of like I'm doing right here. It might not come out as good as a drawing like that. But that person is taking time in his work to get the basics, to improve his lines. He goes slower. And it's hard when you're at an academy or when you're at a school, it's very difficult because you have people around you. And it can be difficult when those people seem to be further ahead of you because you're taking your time trying to learn this stuff. But it's the person who does that becomes better in the end. But it's that long-term vision that you need to maintain, both on the technical aspects and as being an artist. You know, they always used to say at the school, it was like, I remember they made us read Discourses on Painting by Sir Joshua Reynolds before we went to the school. And one of the main points he said was, you know, it takes, I don't know if he says strong mind or whatever, but you need to remember what got you into this in the first place, because you don't want to lose being an artist in the process of going through this very dull work of learning the language of art, right? That's what he said. And, I guess for some people, it might be easier than others. He was saying, essentially, this type of academic work sometimes can kill your artistic drive because it just makes you do academic work because that's what you start seeking, that's what you've been trained for. But really, the purpose of doing the academic work isn't necessarily to continue to do the exact academic type work or this or that, or make it cold and dead, because it's not cold and dead. It's simply a tool to allow you to express yourself artistically later on. You have to remember that as you go through. So it's simply a tool. And they told me, the people at the Florence Academy, one of the first things they said was, it's not an art school, really. It's a, because we're not teaching you how to be expressive. Technically, we're not. We're teaching you the technique behind it, is what they said. But I remember in my fourth year, they actually, Daniel Graves started building Porto Romana, and it was to bridge the gap between this type of work and putting it into yourself as an artist, right? He wanted us to do some expressive pieces that represented ourselves, but held the academic standards, the technical standards that, everybody admires at the Academy. That was the point there, and I thought that was a very good move on his part. It was to bridge the gap, right? I think a good art school, if they're going to go through and say art, it's good that they teach this stuff because this is the expression, or this is what enables you to express yourself. But then you need to go through, and it does take, I will say, it's easier for others than, easier for some than others. But it does take some effort to not just fall into academic work when you've been trained with this, at least for me. But it's in the interest of becoming a better painter, better artist, right? That's why I like doing some fantasy type work. I think that would be a lot of fun to do, and put a classical touch on it. Of course, it's always easier said than done, but I think that would be cool. I think it'd be really cool. Right, so I'm going to go through and exaggerate some of these lines, and I'm not going to move them now because if I did, it would kind of scar the paper, but I'm going to kind of make this pop, and I'm going to attempt to find a little bit of variation in this line right here, because this is kind of, it was a little bit too sharp, but this is one of the center point pieces of one of the focal points of this drawing. There we go. So I'm just going to work this edge up just a little bit. So though it gets dark, we can always lighten it up, but I'm not going to lighten it up yet. I'm just going to go through and try to refine this line just a little bit. There we go. It's very subtle things, very subtle. Very subtle. The stream's still on. There we go. Coldar 27. And buddy. Had to change browsers for some reason. It was getting an error. That's weird. What browser was it getting an error on? All right, so my mom and dad are here, so he can come in, and he has some dementia, so I'll have to, but I'm gonna try to stream the best that I can here. Using Chrome, switch to Edge. Sweet. Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. It's funny. How's it going, old man? What you doing? All right, so though we're looking at I'm going through and refining individual parts, it helps to go through and just look at the overall impression of it and to accentuate the things that you see need to be accentuating in terms of looking at the whole shape, right? So when I look at just in general, what pops out really, the dark areas accentuated here, here, and up here. That kind of accentuates some. How's it going? You.
Okay.
Good. There we go. Am I patient with other things or just with art? It really depends. Really depends. I'm working on it. I think crafts, when I have to build something, I'm more patient. Being patient with people, I'm working on. For the most part, I think I'm pretty patient, but sometimes I do lose patience. It's not, this stuff, again, it was something that this really had to be cultivated. And that's why I'm talking about it, is because, what about at the airport? I was just at the airport yesterday morning at 3:30 a.m. Oh, I had to take Rose there. She was flying up to Connecticut, and her sister booked a flight for 5. It left at 5:20 a.m. The airport was about 40 minutes away. I don't know, man. I think I just mellow out and just try to pretend like I'm somewhere else with that. I don't really, I'm pretty patient with that stuff, I guess. I don't know. I don't think about it. I'm not so observant once I get out of the studio. I just realized that one of the rooms, my bedroom was painted yellow, and I've been there for 10 years. I didn't notice that. I thought it was like white, but it's offset yellow. I'm not observant outside because I don't try to be. I come in here, I activate it, I go outside, and I'm just like, right? Dad, how are you feeling? Are you feeling any better? You? Still feel bad? Are you tired? Yeah, zoning out when traveling, I'm telling you, there's an art to it. There's an art to it. I do the same thing. I mean, flying back and forth overseas, you had to do it. You had to do it. And either you learn that or you're just going to be pissed off the whole time. And then have that nothing box. This is true. This is true. This is true. And I'll say this. You know, you're around a woman or whatever, and they're like, what are you thinking? Literally nothing. That's the answer. Nothing. I could be driving. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm resting my brain and I'm just going through the motions. That's what I do. It's not some deep, thought about, we have that sometimes, I guess, but I think about nothing, and it's great. You zone out. If you're in a place that you don't like, you zone out. No, they never do, ever. This is why I'm saying it, because everything is so complex, and this is a good thing and it's a bad thing, okay? With us, how we think about nothing, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, okay? But, I think it's a good thing, because I don't know how you survive if you don't know how to put things in boxes, just put it on the shelf for a little bit. Sometimes you need to. You can't focus on, like traveling. I'm not going to focus on traveling. I hate traveling. Why am I going to think about how bad this is? When you're going through it, you're like, this sucks. That's different than just going through. Or you can get creative with it. I should show you some pictures that my friend Toby and I did when we were in the airport over in Germany. Limo, your mother country. I'm surprised we didn't get arrested, but for just being suspicious. And maybe we would today because everybody, things are so high-strung now. But that's what I'll do. I'll show you some pictures. This is what I do in airports. I'll bring them. You might have to remind me. I have them at home. They're actual photos, and I have to digitize them. Digitize. But they never believe you. They never believe you. They never believe you. And then when you say nothing, then something's wrong. Something is wrong. Something's wrong. And that creates something wrong. And then, behold, something from nothing. Something from nothing. So, you can't say nothing. Because if you say nothing, that's bad. You have to come up with something, right? Oh, I was just thinking about how I was going to do this in my work or something. You have to come up with something. You can't be honest. Don't be honest. Don't be honest. I'm going to watch the stream and I'm going to see if y'all can see any of the stuff that I'm doing. And if you can't, then I'm just going to know not to get it, push things this far. Because there's tiny little things. You just say, I was thinking about a dial tone. Yes. Yes. Dial tone. I mean, since that's true, it's like a flat line. You got to flat line every once in a while. You have to. Look, there's survival techniques that are built into us, into our brains. And going back to the patience and by extension, being observant. I'm observant in art. But when I step out, I'm not. And I think that's one way of helping this rest, because you have to be ultra observant, sometimes when I'm doing this, I would listen to like Nirvana when I was doing this work. So you'd see headphones on, you wouldn't know what I'm listening to. I'd just be listening to Nirvana, but it looks so peaceful outside. You need a balance with things, and I'm not necessarily saying that's the best music. I don't think it is to do this type of work, but whatever gets you into it. And that was when I was training. I'd always listen to music. Do y'all listen to music when you? Just a little motivation, Lewis. The drawing is really nice. Cool. Yeah. So, Lemo, like, let me ask you something. And tell me what I can improve with this, because I don't know how it looks. Is it helping you? Is this stuff that is helping you in your work to do this type of stuff? Because that's my point with this. And so, all right, down here is like really scratchy. I basically need to go through and just give this a little bit of time. It's scratchy because I've just been sloppy and really haven't paid as much attention. You'll notice like you'll be able to tell where the artist is interested and where they're not interested by how their drawing looks, right? You'll be able to tell. Because Lemo, this type of stuff is for you, people like you who are going over this, like going through the same things. I'm trying to sharpen this line some, and it's one of those areas that's like kind of splotchy, at least from my view, and so I have to fix that. I have to go through and refine this, go back and forth with the eraser, and when I do so, I have to stay within the confines of the drawing and not scar the paper, because you don't want to have a little value outside of the line. That's what will make it look like there's a transition, and it'll make it look softer than we want it to be. We want this to be sharp because that's what it is here, and it's training us to push ourselves to be able to do this type of work. That's what it's doing. So when you're doing this, don't get discouraged if the drawing looks like crap in the end. That is perfectly fine. It's the whole point of going through and pushing yourself and trying to get just get it looking correct. You know what? I guarantee you this is too thin. I can fix that, but here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do that. Where's my plumb line? Aha! You are. So we're going to check if this is too thin, which I think, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. And honestly, okay, we do two checks here. Here's one. That's really close, but I'm going to do it again. No, it's good. I don't know why. Why do I think that? I think because this line probably comes up some, if this goes through, like you follow this through here, this comes up, that's what it is. This part's going down a little bit too much, which makes this look too thin, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. So I just go through and just add in just a little bit here. So this is good to know how to do as well. Okay. I'm going to clean this up, this side up. You really just want to keep on going over it. That's a successful, that's how, if you want to make this a successful exercise, push it and just be as anal as you possibly can. You can specify your live stream on a specific theme, like example, line quality or shading. Lamo, you're on, look, Lamo, keep on giving me this stuff. My mind doesn't work like that. And this is, I can't tell you how helpful it is to your like what you type in, how you're thinking, what you find helpful. To me, it's golden. I really appreciate that. I'm not good at I'm getting better. I'm not good at the advertising. I'm not good at going through and making something that somebody wants to click on. That's the problem. The thumbnails, the titling, I'm not good at that. I'm trying to get better. That's a very, very helpful, very helpful. I'll do that. So this line is very fuzzy and it's poorly drawn. So sometimes, here's a trick. If you're looking at the whole thing, sometimes you're like, that looks good. But do the window, which is essentially like close one eye, put your hand up to your face like this and look out this hole right there, and then go over specific parts of the drawing and just say, as this part, does it stand by itself? And if it doesn't, go through and really refine it and look it up, because it's very easy, and I've done this, to make this an afterthought, and you can tell by the way that I drew it. And that's something you wouldn't know by looking at this, but that's something that we're trained not to do. When I would start, does the far brow need some tone? This one here? Like this one? Yeah, probably a little bit. Because I darken this, which would, like, this gets a little bit darker. And this gets darker, slightly. So when I started doing still lives, you know what? Y'all should just tell me what to do. When I started doing still lives, I would do, you know, like you paint, say you have the pots and then you have like a pear and then you have the drapery on the sides. It's very easy to go through and just want to paint the pot and the pear because that's what you're into. But the other stuff, you just like put a couple of brush strokes in, you kind of don't pay attention. But you have to pay as much attention to that stuff as you do and really refine it with the same amount of care as you do the centerpieces and the objects. It's one of the keys to it, honestly. Dad, you doing okay?
A little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You bored?
No.
Good, good. Do you want to pull up a chair and sit closer to me? Here, get that chair right there. See that one? See that over there? Yeah, get that sucker. Yeah. There you go, and you can just pull it up and sit right there if you want. If you want to be closer. Yeah, here. You got it? Here, but pull it back some so you don't hit this, because this cord's there. There you go. Good man. All right. There you go. Lamo says hi to you. He says, yeah, sure.
Pig's ass.
A pig's ass? He's... What?
Oh, these are
Huh? The wires?
wires.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big gap time.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Those are wires. You got it.
Got it.
Got it. What are you going to do? Exactly. All right. So, Fuzzy. So again, we're just going up and tightening this up. So I'm going to clean the inside of this line up, hopefully. Actually, let's do this. Let's darken this first because the shadow's not going up to the line. So again, Lamo, I've really taken my time with this, and and I have experience doing this type of stuff, and so don't be afraid to take your time. I've really gone slower than I normally would too, right? You really want to really take your time and go slower. Really, that's one of the purposes too, is just slowing yourself down. Because I told you before, the first one I did, I finished in like 3 days, and this is when you first start. And that wasn't good because there's so many lessons and exercises that I just skipped past because I was ignorant of them, and that's totally normal at first. Hey Laura, I like your little short videos that you put out recently. Those are pretty cool. And it was really cool seeing your live stream too. So Friday mornings, I'm gonna have your live stream on. I couldn't work out this Friday because I work out in the mornings just to get it over with, frankly. But my back was messed up, but I'm going to be able to work out this Friday. So I'm going to have you on, but I'll have you on as I'm working out, but I won't be able to chat as much probably, though I will do some, just FYI, but I'll be listening to it, okay? And so I'll have the stream on Friday, so 8 a.m. And you're giving me an idea because I kind of like, hey gay. Is this Hey Gay from the Academy? Is it Hey Gay? Hey Gay, I studied with her. Hey Gay, it's really great to hear from you. This is awesome. This is so cool. How have you been? Hey Gay and I studied together at the Florence Academy of Art. She's amazing. Laura, thank you. I didn't get the chance to post a normal video. Thanks for stopping by the live stream. I appreciate it. It was fun to watch. It really was. Yeah, old studio mate. That's right. It's so great. That's awesome. You found me. That's really cool. Hey, Gay, I can't remember if it was you or if it was Magda Almy. I asked a question because it was when I was, I hated still lives, and I was literally going around and interviewing everybody. Did I ask you what you liked about it? And you said it was just like, you said you don't know. It's just something, it's like you in the still life. It's a very peaceful time. Was that you or was that Magda? Thank you. They're really stupid videos, but I'm trying to improve that and get information out clearer and more consistently. So And Lemo and Queldar and the people in here are just amazing. They're very motivated and love this type of work. And I think they take that motivation on and, you know, continue it. They're going to be amazing. Finally found the email. I emailed you. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I hope she's okay. And I don't get on Facebook that much, but I started looking you up on Facebook saying like, and I didn't see anything. And I was like, I hope she's okay. Because, you know, I couldn't find much of you. Gosh,
You didn't say anything.
my dad's here. I didn't. But gosh, it's so great to hear from you. This is amazing.
You're welcome.
Not talking to you, old man. This ominous figure in the corner. Okay. Cool, you'll get back to me tomorrow. Yeah, that email was from like, I think almost a year ago. It was a long time ago. Which I miss emails too. I'm not upset. I'm really happy that you're... I was worried. I was worried. Not because you didn't respond as much, that I couldn't find much of you. And I'd say concerned. I was concerned. Hey, gay, Barge Drawings, we can't escape it. Barge Drawings, we're back to Barge Drawings. Remember, everybody hated Barge Drawings. And still lives. Laura says hi to you, Dad. Laura. See this camera, Dad, and that, and I'm on the internet and people are watching, okay? And so some people are watching and they chat here, I can see it, and they say hi to you.
Hey.
He says, hey. There we go. We can't escape it. Can't escape it, Hege. Hege. Can't escape it. You know, it's like, look, Lemo, don't feel like, again, I've said this 1,000 times, I can't stress to you enough how much Barge Drawings, it was just everybody, unless they were mentally sick, they just really did not like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like this one bit. But I'll say this again, and I said this before, considering the work that I have been doing, this is a nice reprieve from it. Part of me wants to do a video on barge drawing. Now, the problem is that I just did this. I don't know if I want to do another one yet. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if I want to do another one. Right? But, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah, hey, Gay, I'm streaming Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm kind of mixing the times up. Right now it's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time in America. I'm considering doing the Thursday one, however, this Friday at 4 p.m., which is later, but I don't know yet. I don't know yet. We'll see. But just FYI, and so if you can catch it, awesome. And if not, screw you. How dare you? How dare you miss this? How dare you? We're trying to put tooth on it. Trying to put tooth on it. Know what you mean. I don't like repeating myself exactly. I enjoy mixing it up. Yep. Oh, cool. Awesome, Hege. Yeah, it'd be really cool to have you in, and you could fact check what I say. If I say something, because you'll know. Be like, don't listen to what he said just now. Don't listen. This is so off right here. This is so off. This is too thin. Don't know what happened. Just lost control. This top part. This is a combination. Actually, this bottom part really needs to go down some. See, it's probably scarred at this point. It's probably scarred, but that's okay. We're going to try anyway. If not, then I really don't care. Probably shouldn't have said anything. bring this down. I'm just having so many flashbacks of them saying, wrong, change this, wrong, change that. I don't know how good this is for my mental health. No, these drawings make you strong. They make you tough. They make you mean. You gotta be tough and mean. You know, so many people think artists are peaceful. The only peaceful artist I know is Laura. Steven is live in 30 minutes, and he's going on Proco, right? Yeah, nice. I might end the stream right before then, so you guys don't have to miss that. And plus, I'm tired of doing this. And I have to watch over this guy right here. So we might, right before he goes live, we might call it, just so he gets an extra 5-6 viewers. Hey, Gay, do you remember Stephen Ballman, right? Like, he was at the academy when we were there. Hege was there. I think you came maybe a year after me, but we were there most of the time together. Yeah, I'll probably turn that stream on too, listen to it. Because Proco, he's very good at interviewing people. See, this right here just lost form and gesture, so I'm kind of, just need to redraw this. Which is okay, see? This is how you do it. This happens. Don't freak out, Limo. Just don't freak out. You can't have anybody freaking out here. Can't be afraid. Just gotta go for it. Sharpen pencil. Not too impressed, old man. See this? Here's the top. Actually, that part comes up some. Must have missed this. If this is correct, that goes up. You know, I don't know why I'm doing this. I should just leave this. I'm trying to finish this up, and they've really screwed our brains up. This whole thing. That goes up because it flows with this piece right there. That's too pointy. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. It's going to be wrong. I'm gonna have to accept that. I'm gonna leave it. Not gonna change it. I'm not gonna touch that part. That part I'm not gonna touch. I'm gonna leave it. No way I'm gonna touch it. No. Thanks, Queldar. We aim for mediocrity on this channel. I'm so natural. Queller, what's that over there? Must have been nothing. Must have been nothing. All right, so we're looking at the shadow shape here, and then this comes in about there. Cuts. A good year. The strength of will. The strength of will. Laura, that I really like that painting of the DNA strand going around the human spirit. Like, you can see the anatomy. That's really creative. I don't know how you come up with that stuff. That was something. That was a really cool video. That was a really cool video. Gosh. Really cool video. Yes, that's one of your favorite paintings. It's called Inner and Outer Worlds. Cool. You're making me want to do a dragon drawing or a painting too, because you keep on putting dragons in, like tame your inner dragon. All right? That'd be pretty awesome actually to see. Be really cool. Yeah, I love dragons. I used to do dragons all the time. When I was in school, I was so bored. Just draw dragons. Or knights, all that type of stuff. Let's do this. Okay. New pencil. New pencil. Are you tired, Dad? Tired? I hear you yawning. Yeah, a little bit. I just followed her too. I realized last night I hadn't followed her yet. I'm so big on social media. I have a hard time with it. I'm trying to get better, but lost the drawing. That part. Yeah, it is. What's hard is that I want to put quality content out, but I don't have a lot of quality content because it takes so long. And I think you have to post constantly, right, to grow on there. And so you can do reels. I think reels are a good way to grow. But a good way to get seen is to do the popular BS that they have on there. And like Rose was showing me, she says, look, why don't we do this reel? I was like, I feel like a pigeon. It's the same thing everybody else does. There was this one thing, oh no, it's Melanie. That's a shame. She was really nice. And so you do this and then you put some caption to it. She made me do that. I was like, I feel like this is such a cop-out. So I put all this time into I made a reel of the redneck me, and I put that up, and that so far has gotten about a little over 200 views. The one of the Oh No Melanie one, because that was a trending thing, that one brought in over 2,000 views. And I'm like, this is such shit. Yeah, he understands. Yeah. Anyway. But it's because I think they prioritize those videos because it's the Instagram, whatever they're pushing at the moment, which is, to me, I think that cheapens the platform. If that's what it is, but you know what? What do I know? I'm not an expert on that stuff. And So these points here, I was just going through trying to define them. I was trying to define them. Could I draw them better? Definitely, definitely could. But you really don't want to have rounded edges. You want it to be nice and smooth and clean. And it forces you to push yourself and to learn how to clean up edges without scarring the paper, without becoming too dark. This edge right here, for example, is sharper than this edge, but I have them both the same. There's line quality that we miss unless we're looking for it. These Bargue drawings that he did, they're brilliant because he did such a great job. They're so controlled. He did such a great job of line quality, of texturing, shadows, all sorts of things in it that we can learn from. And sometimes it's easier to kind of create this yourself instead of copying it from somebody else, right? There's always that, but when you have to copy and you have to do it accurately, that's when you really grow, because that's when it forces yourself to learn these techniques that these great masters have, and they've worked towards. Bouguereau, if you look at his paintings, the lines on them, line in painting, mind you, mind you, his lines in painting, the paintings are just amazing. He has such form. Even if you took out all his shadowing values and such, if you just kept the line of his paintings, those drawings, those paintings just turn. They're absolutely, absolutely amazing. William Waterhouse. Yeah, Waterhouse, he's amazing. Amazing. This shape doesn't look right to that. Is it this edge right here? Let's look at this. This needs to come up just a little bit. There's simply more definition here. Then that's too thick because that comes down some. Which means this might come down. This gesture is off. It comes in just a little bit. Let's see if I can bring that in some. It might be scarred, the paper might be scarred. No, I think I can get away with it. Line quality. Gotta get that quality. Gotta get that quality. So again, you don't necessarily need to draw like this, but you know, after you graduate from Barge Drawings, but you know how to do it. It teaches you all these lessons. Yeah, I want to go to a museum again too, man. I know what you mean. Okay. All right. So the idea is these small angles, we need to get them correct. And we need to also make sure that the points remain points and they don't curve and become this amorphous blob-like structure. That's one of the main things. Like I just did there. I literally just said that and then I curve it. Believe it or not, I do kind of have a plan, but it's a very vague plan at the moment. Okay, kind of brought it back now. I'm really going to try to define that point. Come on. Kind of. It's not great. You falling asleep? Sleeping on me?
I'm falling asleep.
Falling asleep. What are you going to do? So as y'all can see, you know, I've been changing shapes, but it's like I'm still looking at the overall shape. Again, small shapes equal you're just looking at the big shape, you're just refining it more. So just don't think that doing the big shapes is one step and then refining is the second step. It's kind of, they're all the same thing. That's too big. It's kind of all the same thing. I'll go through and I'm gonna put some of these little details in that I've been avoiding since we're gonna wrap this up. And I might not do it that accurate, but okay, so this shape's here. This is here. If I bring this up there, it's light shape. Goes up that high, falls at such an angle and swoops into this point right there. So it would be like that. This distance to here is about there. So that is, so we're using all these areas to measure lines and the gesture of the line, right? That's what we're doing. And that's how we get the most accurate representation as quickly as we can. That's how we do. That's how we do. All right, something like that. Something like that. We'll just leave that like that for now. A little space there. I went down just a slight bit too far. Okay. So his stream comes on in 7 minutes, right? Yeah, Dad is comfortable. He's like this right now. I don't know if y'all can. Oh yeah, you can see him. He's in the background. Didn't know he was there. That's really funny. I didn't know he was. I thought like, yeah, because there's like a little picture of the whole scene up in the upper left of my computer, and then of that, there's even a smaller image of me. I didn't even see him in the background. That's really funny. We're just going to go through. I'm going to quickly refine. Mark these up. Okay, so his stream comes on in a couple minutes. So I'll end this in about 7. His stream comes on at 1 Eastern, correct? Just so I know when to shut this thing off. I could have done a better job with this. Actually, no, this is pretty close. Yes, okay, cool. So in 5 minutes, I'll end this thing. That way you guys don't have to miss anything. I'm gonna turn it on too, because I love, like, Proco, excuse me. Like I was saying, when I was studying what type of stuff was out there and like what direction I wanted to go, which is still ever shifting, but Proco was actually one of the first guys that I found on there. I was like, oh, this guy's cool, this guy's good. And like, he has some really cool drawing. Like, he's very good at drawing. Have you seen his drawing? I'm sure you have. Very good. Very good. I think he's awesome. And then Cornelia was on his show. I was like, what? That's Cornelia right there. I was like, this is awesome. And then I went through and found Steven's channel. And it's just, I can't tell you, it's so good seeing like the people who, they just have so much to offer. And it's really good just seeing them as successful as they are. It's so refreshing. It really is. I love seeing that they're getting out there and you know, they have these followings and people, they're learning from them. Because I wish that I had something like that when I first started. I didn't have that. And I'm not saying poor me, because I found the Florence Academy. I'm very, very fortunate. But that's something that I wish that I did have. It's so valuable. So valuable. So valuable. I'll just keep on saying so valuable for 5 more minutes, see how that plays out. It is. It really is. It's awesome. And, you know, it's just a cool thing. And I learned stuff from it too. You know, Steven's very good at articulating stuff. You know, I can draw, I can paint, but you always learn stuff from the people. Like when I was, the 4th year I was at the academy, I just as much asked one of the students who I trained with for a critique as I would a teacher at that point. And I learned, you start learning from the people that you're around almost as much as the teachers, right? Now the teachers have been doing it for longer, but like Andy Amaral, John Peck, he's amazing. You guys should look him up. And he teaches, and he's very, but he knows how to teach. Andy Amaral is very, 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 very talented. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of people, but I love that they're doing that. So I'm putting these marks in, looking at the whole shape and thinking this needs to be more accentuated, right, compared to the overall shape. This shape is a little bit off, but I'm not going to, we've come to the finish of this. Guys, I could honestly, I could keep on working this up, and I'm not going to, because we're going to close this off, right? I can do 2 or 3 more sessions on this, and if y'all want to, I will. But I think I'm going to try to do a charcoal drawing. I need to come up with something to draw. Do y'all have any suggestions of what I should draw, like charcoal wise? But it needs to be fine art kind of related. Like I want to do a fine art touch. I could probably do anything with it. I don't know if y'all have a suggestion. I've been trying to think of something I could do, whether it's a portrait, whatever. But as y'all can tell, this can keep on going on and on and on. There's like light touches I'm making here and there that do make a difference. They make a big difference, and that's what we're training ourselves to see, is the small touches do have a lot of value in them, and you need to know how to do this, and that's why this type of drawing is just so incredibly valuable. It's so incredibly valuable. That's how you learn. We're going to wrap it up, all right? Bye, Laura, Queldar27, and Lemo. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to hop over to Steven's stream, watch that, and you guys take care. I'll be streaming on Thursday. I don't know if it's 11:30 or 4 yet, but I'll have it set. I'll have it set. You guys take care.